Have you ever found yourself, say, agreeing with someone just to keep the peace? Or maybe you've put someone else's comfort so far ahead of your own that you kind of forget what you even need. Well, today we're diving into a really groundbreaking book by Dr. Ingrid Clayton. It explores a trauma response that so many of us have never even heard of, but we might know it all too well. It's called Fawning. Let's get right into it.
Dr. Clayton starts with this incredibly powerful story from her own life, and wow, does it set the stage. It's a chilling, crystal-clear example of what happens when you sense a threat. You instinctively do whatever it takes to stay safe, even if that means completely betraying what you're feeling on the inside. This survival instinct is the very heart of fawning.
So what exactly is fawning? You've probably heard of fight, flight, and freeze, right? Well, think of fawning as the fourth F in that family of trauma responses. It's what happens when your nervous system makes a split-second calculation and decides that the safest way forward isn't to fight back, or run away, or even shut down. No, the safest path is to please, to become helpful, agreeable, to make yourself useful to the very person who poses a threat.
Okay, but where does a response like this even come from? I mean, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. To really get to the why behind fawning, we've got to look at the kind of environment where a survival skill like this is learned in the first place.
A lot of the time, fawning is a response to something called complex trauma. Now, this is different from the kind of trauma you might think of, like a single dramatic event. Complex trauma comes from repeated, ongoing threats inside our relationships, especially when we're kids. It's like a series of small, almost invisible wounds that, over a long period of time, cause profound damage.
And you know, this learning process doesn't just happen in a bubble. Our whole society, our families, they often send us messages that basically prime us to fawn. I mean, just look at these. How many of these sound familiar? Give your uncle a kiss. Don't make others uncomfortable. Each one teaches this subtle but incredibly powerful lesson. Someone else's feelings are more important than your truth. Keeping the peace matters more than your own comfort.
And as you can see here, this pressure to fawn goes way beyond just the family unit. Think about it. Patriarchal systems often reward deference and agreeableness. Corporate culture loves a team player who never rocks the boat. And if you're in a relationship with a narcissistic person, well, fawning can feel like the only way to survive their lack of empathy.
Okay, so it's a survival skill. It keeps us safe. But this constant performance, this endless effort to please everyone around you, it comes with a huge and often totally hidden cost. This constant need to please creates this deep, wrenching conflict on the inside. Dr. Clayton gives it a name, the fawner's dilemma, and it's really an impossible choice that sits at the very core of this whole response. And this is that impossible choice. On one side, you have this fundamental human need to be your true, authentic self, but on the other side, you have the even more primal need for safety. For someone stuck in a fawning pattern, these two needs are in direct opposition. To be real risks rejection and abandonment, but to stay safe means you lose your identity, your very sense of self. It's a total double bind. I love how Dr. Clayton puts this. She calls the fawning response a stunt double. Think about that. This role, which started out as a shield to protect you, can become so fused with who you are that you can't tell where it ends and you begin. It's a stunt double that takes all the hits for you, which is great, but it also walls you off from your own authentic self, all the good that's inside of you. So if this response is so deeply wired into our nervous system, is there a way back? Is it possible to change? The really good news is yes. The book lays out this hopeful path forward. She calls it unfawning, and it's a journey of reclaiming the self you had to hide away.
And here's what's so interesting. The healing doesn't really start with trying to change your thoughts. It starts in your body. The first goal is to get out of that constant state of suspended alarm. And you do that by learning to regulate your nervous system, to actually teach your body that you are safe right here, right now.
Here's a super simple but really powerful tool from the book. It's called orienting, and it's all about grounding yourself in the present. You just slowly let your eyes wander. Silently name 5 things you see that aren't upsetting. Then, notice what you hear. Feel your feet on the floor. When you do this, you're sending a direct message to your nervous system that the threat from the past is over. You are safe in this moment. Now, beyond these daily practices, the book points to several incredible therapeutic approaches. You've got somatic therapies, which focus on healing through the body. There's parts work, which helps you understand and communicate with all the different parts of you that showed up to help you survive. And EMDR, which can help reprocess those trapped traumatic memories. All of these are really roads to the same destination, reparenting yourself, finally giving yourself the safety and validation you never got but always needed.
So what does life actually look like on the other side of fawning? The book is filled with these amazing stories of transformation, but one of them, the story of a man named Anthony, really stands out.
So, this is Anthony. On the outside, he was the picture of success, a partner at a huge law firm. But that success was actually a form of high-functioning fawning. His entire life was lived in 6-minute billing increments, dictated by what everyone else expected of him. He was performing constantly, and it left him feeling totally empty and disconnected from his real self.
This just shows the power of unfawning. As Anthony did the healing work, his whole focus shifted from performance to presence. He wasn't worried about meeting expectations anymore. He wasn't trying to play the role of a grandfather. He was finally free just to be one, to be his real self with his grandson.
And that brings us to the final, really powerful question that the book leaves us with. And then I want to leave with you. If you could just put down the mask, if you stopped curating your life for everybody else, who is that person waiting underneath it all? Who would you finally get to be?